All right. This is where we were on Thursday. Creation of creation of pivot table and simple visualization. Tonight, what I'm going to show you is data validation. Data validation. Um, Only data analysts are going to appreciate this feature of Excel. This becomes necessary because, especially when you are doing a questionnaire or a survey where you have to send a template of questions to people online, you have created the template, ask the question. Like I'm very sure a lot of people have been through that you want to register for something and they will send you a link to a Google or Microsoft Forms, and then you have to be inputting your details. You scroll down, you see the okay, enter your name, you enter, scroll down, enter, choose your gender, you choose. Some of them will be drop down list, some of them you have to input them yourself. Some of them will be options, and some of them will be multiple choices that you can select more than one at a time. I'm sure you understand. Do you understand? Have you ever noticed something like that when you are registering anything online? Momile and it's my micros. Okay. Momile and Belumi. Okay. So these things, these informations that we are entering, they are saving somewhere. There is a back end where these informations are savings. And mind you, all those points where people have to input their own details by themselves, there is always a lot of ambiguities and inconsistencies. So if you have a column where you want people to enter their gender, right? You see some people will enter male, some people will enter female, some people will enter M, some people will enter F. Some people will type MAIL for their own male. So a lot of these inconsistencies will be there. And when you want to analyze the data, you want to count how many males and females that you have. The system is going to count male different from M. It will count female different from F. Even those one that spelled male as MAIL, it will count them different. Even those that spell it correctly, but maybe someone type his own as starting with capital letter, and then there's other person that starts his own, I mean, that wrote his own fully in small letter, and there are some people that wrote their own in fully in capital letter, and some people mixed letters, right? Some people will even put space before or after they input whatever it is they want to input. All these things, the system is going to see everything differently. Whenever you want to, do your counting and all your analysis, they are going to be seen differently, and there's going to be a problem in your analysis. So in data analysis, we deal with this through data cleaning. If you plan on continuing as a data analyst, you want to learn data analysis, you will see the big problem that this kind of thing can cause. A great analysis that is going to help business to make a very good and informed decision that a big company is going to see and say, wow, this is a very good work. I like it. At the back end of it, behind the scene, you have undergone a lot of cleaning because most data will come very dirty, inconsistencies that you want to you if you have if you want people to input their own date of birth, some people will put dash as the separator, some people will put slash as the separator, some people will begin with year, some people will begin with date, some people will begin with a lot of inconsistencies if you allow people to input their data into your form by themselves. And you must perform this cleaning, you must correct all these things. In fact, data cleaning sometimes can take you 2 months of everyday work, depending on how large the data is. So in order to avoid this, we set some rules, right? We set some rule that will force people to input those data the way we want so that everything will follow that same rule. Okay? Excuse me. Just give me like 10 seconds. So, data validation is what is going to help you to avoid all this trouble. And you can really either set this rule before the data starts getting collected, or maybe at some point when the data start getting collected, it popped up in your mind, you can still set it later, and then the new entries will start following it, right? Now, let's create a little template. Let's say I want people to write their first name, last name, then age, gender. Assuming you work, this is assuming you work in HR now, right? And then you are sourcing for employees. You want people to register for a position. So people that are seeking job. So this is a template. And now gender, and then let's say expected salary, expected salary, And then let's say, okay, let's just make do with this. Let's make do with this. This should be fine. Now, what we are going to do is, okay, let's say, let's add state to it. Let's add states to it. Now, what we are going to do is highlighting this whole column now. You are going to come to data, and then you will see data validation. When you drop down the arrow, you will see data validation here. Click on it, and then there's a lot of things you can do. Now, these are the things, this is the place where you will set the rule when you drop this down now. So this column contains first name, which is name. That is, you want it to be text, right? You want it to be text length. So if you don't want people to leave it blank, so it means leave it at between, or you can say leave it at between. At least we will assume that nobody has a name that is less than 3 letters. I know Joy. I know um, maybe Okpe. Okpe is not a full name, Okpeyemi, well, but I know Joy is a 3 letter, but I don't think there's a name that is less than 3 letter words. Put it as three. A maximum. You can set. I don't think there's a name that is more than 20. If you leave this ignore blank, if you leave it checked like this, it means whenever someone doesn't put their first name, it will just allow them go free. And then you'll be having incomplete data. Uncheck it so that it will not ignore blank, right? And then you can say, okay. Now, if I come here now and input just one letter, it will not allow. This value doesn't match the data validation restriction. Retry. So if I enter 2, it will not allow it. If I enter 3 now, it will allow. And then if I'm trying to leave it empty, it will not allow that. I must enter my name. So that is, and it can't be because I set the maximum to be 20. So if the name happens to be more than 20 letters, it's not going to allow it. So that is that. We'll set the same data validation for last name again, text length So this one you can make it, you can specify a particular, instead of setting a range for it, you can just specify a particular length for it. Just give it like maybe 15 letters. 15 letters. So don't ignore blank. Okay. There are other things I can set for under that validation. So in case I want a maybe a description or anything. So title, when a cell is selected, show this input message. So you say, because I'm dealing with first name now, first name, you can, that's what you want the users to see. Input your first name. Let me put that one here. Put it here. You cannot leave it blank. Okay. So whenever I select, you see input your first name, you cannot leave it blank. So again, I can also give it some other things, error alerts. So anytime someone inputs something that does not rhyme with my validation, what do I want to see? So the symbol that it usually shows is this by default. I can change it to this or this, but I will prefer this one that is red. So I can also give it a message that data invalid. Please input a valid data. So you don't have to be doing it for every cell, right? Since I've selected all the cells in the column, so it will just apply for every one of them. So please input a valid data. Good. Okay. So now if I enter an invalid data invalid, please input the valid data. That's it for text. So I'm not going to repeat the same thing for last name because the same rule should be for them. Though you have to repeat it, but in this in the for the sake of this demonstration, so I don't want to do that. So it will just be like doing the same thing, showing you the same thing more than once. And it is time because of time factor. Age now. Age is supposed to be a numerical data, so the validation will be a little different. Validation, come to setting here, say whole number. And age can only be whole number. There's no such thing. When we were little, when we want to intimidate each other, we say, you are 5 years and 3 months. Me, I'm I'm 5 year and 4 months, so I'm 1 month older than you. So ẹ̀gbọ́n enemy. So by standard, there is no such thing as you are kinikan kinikan. If you are going to be 26 tomorrow, as at today, you are still 25. So age cannot be a decimal, and it cannot be a fraction, whole number. So in our company, you must be at least 21 before we employ you, and you cannot be more than 35. Once you are over 35, we cannot employ you anymore. So the same thing applies. You can set it, all this error alert and input message, the same way we did earlier. Say, okay, now someone is trying to look for employment and he's still 19-year-old. Enter your age, it's 19. They tell you that you are not okay. Let me set the rule. I mean, error alert. Stop, invalid, or age out of range. Sorry, you are not within the qualified range, age range. Okay, then a man of 40 comes, uses age out of range. Sorry, you are not within the qualified age range, and so on and so forth. Same thing, gender. You don't want people to enter rubbish, right? You can just, you want to see only male and female, right? And come to setting here and say lists. You are going to select list. So you'll be the one to give them what to select, not them entering anything they want. So here you can just say male, comma, female. Okay, and then okay. So you can see this drop down arrow here, right? When you click on it, it will bring only male and female. So nobody is coming to input M for me. So when you input it, it will suggest male. And when you press enter, it will pick it automatically. If you press F, it will suggest female. It's either you click on it or you press enter. So that is how they will continue doing it throughout. The same way states, the same thing applies to gender. Set the validation, allow list, right? List, and then you can input Habia, input the 36 states so that people would not later give you problem. Then Adamawa, or maybe the employment is fully on site. You don't want people that are too far to to apply at all. You want only people that are nearby, right? So input it like that. Oshun, Ogun, and so on. So here now, don't allow it to ignore blank. In cell drop down, leave drop down. That's This is the function that allows that drop down function. So click OK. Now you only see those four states that I input. Expected salary. Now, sorry, data validation, right? Expected salary now, you can make it whole number. So anybody that is expecting less than the current minimum wage, 70,000, we can't employ you. And then if you know you are too big to collect 150,000, we won't be able to pay you. You have to look for your employment somewhere else. Okay. And so on and so forth. You come here, you say, a big man, my expected salary is 200,000. You will not be able to continue until you enter what is within our specified range. So this is what this is what is in the intention to show you for tonight. Data validation, how you can force people to follow a certain rule in order not to mess up your data for you. So if there is any question, you can just ask now, Omile and Melumi. I'm going to, since there's no question, I'm going to stop recording now